Hi everyone and welcome back. Today we have a video from Dr. Phil on the topic of parental conflict in front of children. So let's watch it and see what I have to say.
This is a time that you two should sit down and say, you know what? We came together, we formed a union. We made the choice to bring innocent, unsuspecting children into this world that depend on us to nurture them and protect them and provide for them. And we need to do that mentally, emotionally, physically, financially.
So this is a very good introduction to the topic of parenting. Dr. Phil starts by just reminding them the basic principles of parenting. So you have to nurture them and they have to be dependent to you. That's what they have to do. So I think this is a good introduction to what he's going to have to say later. So let's keep watching.
Be fighting and yelling and screaming in front of these kids, and two Christmases in a row. It's just been a hellish meltdown. They don't deserve that.
No, they don't. Absolutely
and that means
not.
the two.
Okay, so what's happening in the couple is that they're fighting, they're yelling at each other in front of their children, and we're being told that this has been happening for years. What are the actual reasons why you don't want to fight in your couple in front of children? The main reason is that children need to be left out of such conflicts because they're not equipped to deal with it, to understand it, and they have to really be focused on their own life and their own development. Even if they're not conscious of it, it's still going to affect them because they're being confronted to situations and conflict that they are not equipped with, either in their brain or emotionally or cognitively. They don't know anything about this. And when their parents are fighting, this is very overwhelming and they can't do anything about it. So you're gonna see, this is from research, you're gonna see two reactions from the children. One reaction is that first of all, you're gonna most likely make them anxious, and so they might isolate themselves or be really uncomfortable in the situation, and that gives you the illusion that they're just calm and being relaxed in their corner and just focused on themselves, but that's an illusion. The reality is that they're being anxious and that they're being stressed out by the situation because they're not equipped to understand it or to deal with it for themselves. The other reaction that you could be observing is that the children try to help the parents resolve the conflict. In a way, they are going to be acting like therapists to their parents. And again, we go back to our first points where that's just not what children have to do. Children have to be focused on themselves and their own development. And they don't have the energy or the resources to put into their own parents' relationship, their couple and their conflicts. And if they do, that's going to be disturbing developmentally for the children.
Move into a place that you can afford. I don't care if you got 3 kids in a room. If it is a room filled with love, if it is a room filled with harmony, if it is a room filled with a couple that is showing these kids how you deal with difficult times and you love and...
So these are all good points by Dr. Phil. So he talks about what you have to do as the couple to solve this problem. And apparently they have financial problems, and I suppose that's why he recommends moving to a smaller house. What really matters is that he talks about showing the children that you're capable of loving each other, that you're capable of resolving conflict. So the reason why this matters is that parents are modeling for their children, which means that they are showing their children how to function in the world, how to behave, so how to act, etc. So the conflict in itself is not necessarily a problem as long as it's being functionally resolved by the couple, I would say, which means that you're capable of showing the children that you can have a conflict, but you're also capable of repairing the damage and loving each other again and having the couple back on its feet. Also, although he's not directly mentioning it, I would mention that you have different intensities of conflict, you have different frequencies. And in this situation with this couple, it's being suggested that the conflicts are very intense, that they're yelling at each other, and that they're very frequent. It's been going on apparently for years. These are the types of conflict that are really going to be destructive and disruptive for the children's development, as opposed to more infrequent conflicts, less intense conflict, and especially third point as conflict that is being resolved by the couple functionally, which shows the children that you can deal with this, and it shows them how to function and how to behave, even if they don't consciously learn it and think about it. These are the things that, being repeated over the course of many years, are going to very much have consequences on them when they grow up and become adults.
Support each other, then it becomes a teachable moment. And what you're doing now is scarring these children for life. And when they grow up with what you're showing them now, their chance of being exactly the same way when they grow up is really, really high.
Yes.
And be mature enough to put somebody's interest ahead of our own, and that's our children. You need to calm down and shut up with all of this yelling and screaming.
Dr. Phil saying, okay, you need to consider what really matters. What really matters to you is your children, so you need to take actions that put your children at the front, and so you have to stop these conflicts. So this is an approach that in real therapy you wouldn't approach it like this, but on stage you have just a few minutes with this couple, and you have to, bring it home. You have to really make your point in a limited amount of time. I think this is an acceptable way of presenting it to the couple, but we can see how Dr. Phil is not really trying to be a therapist to the couple. He's trying to explain them what they have to do afterwards, when they go back home, in order to make this easier on everyone that's inside the home, as opposed to dealing with the couple's emotions that they are presenting to Dr. Phil. So if you would like to learn more about psychology from these reactions, please consider subscribing, and I'll see you on to the next videos. Bye bye.